Brace yourself for an adrenaline-pumping saga of one of Australia's most savage feuds. For years, two ruthless crime families waged relentless war after an alleged drug theft ignited the conflict. Their skirmishes erupted in broad daylight, leaving a trail of carnage. The hostility grew so fierce that even the combatants' mothers found themselves in the crossfire. Amidst this vicious vendetta, both families continued their underground empire, flooding Sydney's streets with illicit drugs. This is a tale where loyalty and brutality intersect in a dark dance of survival and revenge. The plot thickens. Amidst all this chaos, the masterminds of both crime families were locked up together in a maximum security prison. How did they manage to pull the strings from behind bars? This is the electrifying saga of the Hamzy family versus the Alameddine family. To truly grasp the magnitude of their feud, we need to rewind and uncover the events that led us here. Our journey begins with the infamous Hamzy family, known on the streets as the Brothers for Life Gang, led by Bassam Hamzy. Meet Bassam Hamzy, the son of Lebanese immigrants who fled the civil war in the 1970s, seeking a better life in Australia. Trouble found Bassam early. In 1998, at 19, he fatally shot Chris Tumazis after a nightclub argument, resulting in a 21-year prison sentence. And that could have been the end of his story, but it was just the beginning. From his cell in Goulburn Supermax prison, Bassam orchestrated the creation of the Brothers for Life Gang in 2007. His influence grew within the prison walls, converting many fellow inmates. His power escalated so much that correctional officers feared for their safety, prompting his transfer to Lithgow prison. In Lithgow, Bassam's empire continued with a smuggled phone. Undetected, he made over 19,000 calls from May 1st to June 11th, 2008. Delving deeper reveals those calls orchestrated much more than idle chatter. Bassam directed a crime syndicate, smuggling drugs worth up to $250,000 a week, coordinating kidnappings, and executing drive-by shootings. Among his trusted operatives was his cousin, Mohammed Hamzy, the president of the Bankstown chapter and considered a co-founder of the Brothers for Life Gang. Though Mohammed held the title, he answered Bassam's commands without question. However, Bassam's iron grip began to loosen as the gang expanded. Membership required only a $70 t-shirt, leading to recruits with no personal loyalty to Bassam. This dilution of power was aggravated by the group's financial success, giving members the means to pursue their agendas. The emergence of the Blacktown chapter, led by Bassam Hijazi and Yahya Ahmoud, fragmented the gang further. Unlike the predominantly Lebanese Bankstown chapter, Blacktown was mostly Afghan members. Tensions exploded in October 2012 when Bassam and Yahya were ambushed and riddled with bullets in their car, resulting in Yahya's death. This attack, orchestrated by Mohammed Hamzy, triggered a bloody internal feud. Bassam fled to Lebanon, but the violence persisted. Another chilling episode unfolded on October 29, 2013. Mohammed Hamzy was in a garage with Mahmoud Hamzy and Omar when two shooters attacked. The bullets tragically killed Mahmoud and gravely injured Omar. 3 suspects, tied to the Blacktown chapter, were later apprehended. Mohammed Hamzy narrowly escaped this brazen assault, only to be arrested soon after for his role in the shooting of Bassam and Yahya. NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing voiced his alarm over the incessant and violent tit-for-tat attacks, imploring the community to come forward with any information to bring the perpetrators to justice and curb the bloodshed. However, stopping the cycle of violence proved far more challenging than anticipated. The vendetta reached a horrifying zenith on December 11, 2014, when a new target fell victim to the vicious saga, Bassam's mother, Lola. As Lola Hamzy stood behind her front door, a shooter unleashed fire, striking her once in the stomach. Miraculously, she survived, a rare stroke of luck in a saga drenched in blood. Remarkably, Lola was the second female family member to be attacked in her own home. On March 9, 2013, Bilal Hamza's mother, Maha, also Bassam's aunt, was shot 8 times in the leg but managed to survive. This attack was aimed at Bilal, who had attempted to extort $5,000 from someone's mother. Instead, when his mother opened the door, she became the tragic victim. Interestingly, you'll note the differing spellings of their surnames, a reflection of distinct branches within the same notorious family. By late 2014, after years of relentless mayhem, it seemed the Brothers for Life Gang faced its demise. A sweeping police operation led to the arrests of numerous members, with over 300 charges laid against 21 individuals. NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing hoped this was the final nail in the coffin. Most key figures were either dead or incarcerated, leaving Bassam to watch his empire crumble from behind bars. However, the silence that followed for 2 years was deceiving. The violence was far from over. Things only escalated from there. Enter the Alameddines, another infamous crime family rooted in the underworld of Sydney, Australia. The stage was set for an even darker chapter in this brutal saga. Just like Bassam Hamzy, the Alameddine family's power player, Talal Alameddine, found himself behind bars, sentenced to 17 years for providing the firearm used in the 2015 terrorist attack on police accountant Curtis Cheng at NSW Police's Parramatta headquarters. Talal's infamy sent ripples of shock throughout Australia. Much like the Hamzys, certain Alameddine family members were embroiled in a web of illegal activities, making them fierce street rivals in Sydney. The origins of their bitter feud are shrouded in mystery. Some say it stemmed from the Alameddines hijacking a Hamzy drug shipment in 2013. Others argue it was a brutal war over territory for drug sales. Regardless of the spark, the conflict spiraled into one of Australia's most chaotic gang wars. April 2016 marked the eruption of violence linked to this feud with the assassination of Safwan Charbaji, a relative of Alameddine associates. Merely 20 days later, Wali Ahmad, a Hamzy family associate, met a similar fate. Those who thought the brothers' for-life gang was finished, including NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing, who once hoped the 2014 arrests were the final nail in the coffin, watched in disbelief as the Hamzy family rose again. Bassam Hamzy's influence seemed unyielding. In October 2016, he made headlines once more when prison staff discovered yet another illicit phone linked to him, suggesting his hand in orchestrating the ongoing carnage from behind bars. As tensions between the Hamzys and Alameddines escalated, Sydney braced itself for what would become a relentless cycle of violence and retribution. Inside the high-security Goulburn Supermax prison, a 7-centimeter-long phone was ingeniously concealed within a library book. This covert device belonged to none other than Bassam Hamzy, labeled an extremely high-risk inmate due to his radical beliefs and influence over his followers. His access to the phone was a severe oversight by prison staff and an embarrassing breach of security. This is unacceptable, and we will be investigating this incident fully using our top security operations team from the Security and Intelligence Unit, declared NSWA's Corrective Services Commissioner Peter Severin. Yet, despite these assurances, barely 2 weeks later, Bassam was caught with another illicit phone during an unannounced raid. Attempting to flush it down the toilet, he was thwarted by prison staff who had preemptively cut off his water supply. This blunder confirmed that Bassam still held the reins of the brothers' for-life gang from behind bars. Meanwhile, Talal Alameddine, leader of the rival Alameddine family, was also incarcerated at Goulburn Supermax. As tensions between the Hamzys and Alameddines escalated on the streets of Sydney, the animosity spilled over into the prison walls. In October 2018, their simmering rivalry erupted in a brawl caught on camera. The altercation began as a heated argument over the balance of power within the prison, escalating when Talal grabbed Bassam and landed several punches, capturing the raw intensity of their feud. This skirmish was a stark reminder that even in confinement, the violent legacy of the Hamzys and Alameddines continued to intensify. With no end in sight, Bassam didn't stand a chance. It took several prison guards to break up the fight. NSW police immediately braced for retaliatory violence outside the prison walls, but a surprising calm prevailed, albeit temporarily. On October 14, 2020, Shaylin Zreka, an associate of the Alameddines, was beaten up by members of the Hamzy family. The long-standing feud flared up again after 2 years of relative quiet. Just 3 days later, bullets riddled Ibrahim Hamzy's home. Retaliating swiftly, the Hamzys shot up Rafat Alameddine's residence on October 18th. The cycle of tit-for-tat violence had resumed with lethal speed, each act provoking an immediate counter. The escalation reached a deadly peak on October 19, 2020. Early that morning, around 7:30 a.m., Mashid Hamzy left his house for a walk, unaware that his demise was already set in motion. 2 hours prior, two men had parked their car in front of his home, poised for an attack. As Majid stepped out and walked down the street, the armed men sprang from their vehicle and pursued him. They fired shots as they closed in, wounding Majid before fleeing the scene. CCTV footage captured Majid's desperate, wounded run. Glancing over his shoulder, he managed to cover about 100 meters before collapsing. Despite the efforts of ambulance crews, Majid succumbed to his injuries, adding yet another tragic chapter to the relentless and bloody feud between the Hamzys and Alameddines. Just like that, Majid Hamzy, Bassam's younger brother, had his life tragically cut short. When pressed for a response, Bassam remained stoic, calmly stating, "I accept it as the will of God." However, Bankstown Police Area Commander Darren Sly expressed grave concerns about the potential fallout. Rightly so. The feud intensified to unprecedented levels. The violence escalated to near-weekly bouts of brutality. Shootings, assaults, and drive-bys became routine, and innocent bystanders were increasingly caught in the crossfire. The tragedy struck hard on January 30th, 2021, when Mustafa, an unrelated innocent man, was fatally mistaken for a member of the Hamzy family. The feud's unpredictable nature meant mayhem could erupt anywhere, even at an airport. On February 6th, 2021, a seemingly normal day at Ballina Byron Gateway Airport was disrupted when two Alameddine members waiting for their luggage were confronted by a Hamzy associate. Chaos ensued as fists flew amidst horrified travelers. A mother whisked her daughter away from danger, and a lone security guard eventually dispersed the brawl. Despite efforts to contain the violence, tensions only escalated. The next target, Bilal Hamza. Rumors swirled that the Alameddines had placed a hefty bounty on his head, possibly as much as $1 million. Despite warnings from the NSW police and underworld whispers, Bilal chose to reside in the bustling heart of Sydney's central business district, believing the area's density of people, cameras, and police would deter any assassination attempts. He couldn't have been more wrong. On June 17th, 2021, after leaving a restaurant, Bilal strolled down the street, oblivious to the danger. As he passed an Audi, someone inside called his name. Bilal turned, only to be met with 4 gunshots that sent him flailing to the ground. The Audi made a swift U-turn, ensuring Bilal would not survive, before speeding away. The brazen execution in one of Sydney's busiest areas proved that these adversaries were unbound by fear or consequence. Less than safe, Bilal's decision to stay in Sydney cost him his life. And the Hamzy family faced yet another devastating blow in the months that followed, as the ruthless feud showed no signs of abating. The feud escalated dramatically on October 20th, 2021. Salim Hamzy and his father Toufis stepped out of their house, heading to their truck, unaware that 2 assailants lurked just meters away. Suddenly, an armed man emerged and rushed toward them. In his haste, he slipped while firing the first shots, but quickly regained his footing. At point-blank range, he unleashed a barrage of bullets, striking both Salim and Toufik. Salim was allegedly involved with the Hamzy gang and under investigation for the shooting of Alameddine associate Shady Kanj 2 months earlier. His father, Toufik, was an innocent man, trying to steer his son clear of trouble. This attack starkly highlighted the feud's merciless brutality. The Alameddine family, determined to eliminate the Hamzys, continued their relentless assault. Another harrowing act occurred on January 6, 2022, targeting Bassam's brother, Ghassan Amoun. A gray Mini Cooper cruised through South Wentworthville, pulling alongside Ghassan's BMW. 2 men emerged, firing several shots before fleeing. Paramedics arrived, but Ghassan succumbed to his injuries. The attacker's Mini Cooper was later found torched. The Hamzy versus Alameddine feud has claimed over 10 lives and countless violent episodes. Many have fallen, and many more are incarcerated for long sentences. Bassam Hamzy, the feud's architect, continues to serve time in Goulburn Supermax prison, his sentence extended for orchestrating crimes from his cell. Even his lawyer, Martin Churchill, was ensnared in the web, ending up behind bars for participating in Bassam's drug ring. The Alameddine family may have emerged as the victors, but at an astronomical cost. Each life lost and each act of violence raised the stakes of this dark legacy. If you found this story gripping, don't forget to like, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more content.